When US President Donald Trump agreed to a preliminary deal centered around changes to auto manufacturing rules with Mexico earlier this week, he then immediately pivoted to Canada. He declared that negotiators had until Friday to wrap up the deal, prompting Canadian Foreign Minister Chrystia Freeland to rush from Europe to Washington, where she now continues to negotiate. Flavio Volpe, the president of Canada's Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association, says Canada's apparent isolation from the talks up until now is actually a political illusion.
During that period, there was lots of communication informally between the Mexicans and Canada and between the US and Canada. It doesn't make the headlines, it surely doesn't make the tweets, but there are no surprises.
There are a few things we are watching, of course. Canada wants to continue to have neutral dispute mechanisms to resolve differences because Canada fears arbitrary tariffs being imposed by the unpredictable Trump administration if that's not in place. There's also a question over whether Canada would be willing to lower tariffs on milk. Canadian dairy farmers are fiercely resistant to a revised NAFTA agreement because they worry this could make it harder for them to make ends meet, and that could leave Prime Minister Justin Trudeau vulnerable in next year's elections. Now, the US president sounds positive about the prospects for a deal, while maintaining that a standalone US-Mexico arrangement could still be on the cards if the Canadian deal collapses. But several powerful Republican senators say congressional approval would not be granted for any deal that excludes Canada. So in essence, the Trump administration wants to hurry this thing through on Friday so that they can formally notify Congress, setting off a 90-day notice period so that President Enrique Peña Nieto can sign off on a deal hours before he leaves office. That's assuming that the US Congress approves the deal in a yes or no vote. Daniel Renches, CGTN, Washington.